Hello, everyone. This is Sincere, a teacher Sincere's channel, and welcome. So, this is an impromptu video that I had planned that I was going to make in the future, but last week I ran across a video that inspired me to go ahead and do this video today. So, anyway, but I want to talk about romance scams and how I was a potential victim, but I knew all the signs and I did not fall for it. Okay, now I really learned about these romance scams and these already knew about these holiday romance scammers from way back years ago, where people would go on holiday to certain countries, and they get have these older women would hook up with younger guys. Heard about it would be happening in Turkey, also in parts of Africa, in other places. I think Dominican Republic, and then women were doing it. Men were already doing it. Men were going to certain places, Southeast Asia, Philippines, Brazil, and places like that. But I had already heard about and these people usually just going, for just good time, sex, drinking, or whatever. But what I had heard about, recently, there was a documentary several months ago. I looked at about these holiday romance scams, and it was about these. I think it was 3 or 4 women, British women. One of them was black. The black one, and all of them seem to be fairly well. Two of them certainly seem well off, including the black woman. The other one just seems sort of middle class, but the other two seem well off. But they had gone. The black woman actually went, I think, to the Morocco or either Tunisia, one or the other, and she married a guy. She had been divorced and she was grieving about it, and so she went. She and a friend went to to get away. They went there, and she met the guy. He started hanging around, and she met this guy. I think it was Morocco, I think, and he was much younger. And she ended up marrying him, and the family, they had a big wedding, and the family was there. And I always like to check out the comments because you can get even more insight sometimes from the comments on videos. So some people, somebody was saying, well, the family was probably in on it too. And then from what I've been learning about these different scams and what people do, yeah, a lot of times in these poor countries, these people, not America's rich, but we control the money supply. Not necessarily rich, but control the money supply here in London. But in these countries, people. The whole family will be in on the scam. They'll go and tell the daughter, "Yeah, go and meet, get this guy, and so you can help out everybody in the family, and everything." So it's and they don't see anything wrong with this, and they don't see it as being predatory, parasitic, or any of it. That's how they think. So this guy married this woman, and he ended up leaving, saying, "Oh, I'm going back to home." She got him to England, got him into Britain, got him into her big house. She even bought a big house in Morocco. This is a black British woman, and ended up. He went back home saying, "I'm going back to see my sick father." Took some furniture with him, and then found out from his cousin called her and asked her, has she divorced him? And she was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, he's remarried. He's married somebody else here." And it's sad. It's really, really tragic. And then the other two, it was one she had met the guy. He was African, and he and I'm going to put the links to the video, the stuff in the description, so you can see this. And she went and got the house all made up. He had some kids. She's going to ship him over to England, get married, take care of his kids. And ended up the guy was scamming women all across the internet. Already was married, might have been married to several other women. I mean, and I tell you, what people will do for quote love. It's sad, and people, and it's not just young folks; it's all age groups now. Everybody seems like from 0 to 100 is vulnerable to this nonsense that's going on now. So you got to watch yourself, protect yourself from parasites, everything. It's a mess out here. It's a jungle. Literally, it's a jungle. And so I've been looking at these catfishing scams and all this kind of stuff. And I'd heard about fishing from Days of Noah channel. He was talking about, with this new technologies and all this filtering and stuff, how, it already women was fishing and all this online prostitution and women getting money from men online and all this stuff. It was going to be even worse because you could get a mediocre looking woman and she could put these filters up, and then guy just pours his whole bank account into her lap, thinking that he's got this great beauty, and she just scams him and disappears. So yeah, I myself, though, I had already been looking at this stuff, and personally, I just don't have much time for this. People that do all this kind of stuff, they seem to have a lot of time on their hands. I don't, okay? And I also have a purpose in life. And I just don't sit around, and I also know my limitations. Okay. I stay in my lane. Okay. This is something that somebody made a comment on the channel, these old people getting scammed by these people stealing people's social media pictures and putting them up. And there are people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s thinking that they're getting somebody good looking and young, look like a model. And actually, it's somebody in Nigeria somewhere has stolen uh, people's social media, posted it. And then a lot of Americans, excuse me, are not even, or don't encounter, they're not around people with foreign accents. They're mostly in their group, and they're only familiar with how people speak within their group. So there were some women, I'm like, how could you be fooled by this? This guy stole some other, there's an older white woman. This guy stole a white guy, maybe a little younger or around the same age. His social media pictures are stolen somewhere off the internet, maybe stock photo, and put them up. And then you actually talk to this guy. Not, some of them they just do through the typing. They never even really speak to the person. But some of them, they have the audacity, the bravery to actually speak to the woman. And it's clearly an African accent, but they'll say, well, I was born in Germany, or I was born in Sweden, and all this. And I'm like, people in Germany and Sweden don't sound like this, y'all. They don't. Okay. So I mean, you have to kind of laugh at the nonsense in this world now to keep from crying, because it's so bad, the stuff that's happening. And I look at some great comments of wisdom that people will put down, like, if only people would stay in their own lane, you wouldn't have this happening. You have to understand your limitations when you get to be an older person. If you're a woman or a man, if this younger person is coming after you, you ought to be wondering, what is his or her game? You really need to think about it. I mean, don't think, but what a lot of people will do when they get older, oh, I got it. I still got it. I still got it. Or this is my last chance. This is my last chance. I better do something. This is my last chance. And then you go and embrace a viper or a parasite. And then I'm looking at these channels, and people are losing tens of thousands of dollars through these romance scams run by criminals in Africa, criminals in East Asia. You have Asian women scamming, what seem to be Asian women scamming these older guys and other guys that were younger. In fact, the guy I was listening to last week, he was not older guy. He looked like maybe late 30s, maybe, and he got scammed by a woman he thought was Chinese, and it was with Bitcoin. And he lost his whole life savings. People are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, when I was about to be a potential victim of a scammer, um, I don't have anything for them to steal. I'm just a poor teacher. They can't take hundreds of thousands from me because I'm just poor. But anyway, I was just shocked, that they would get on Goodreads. Because Goodreads is not a dating site. It's not Instagram. It's not Facebook. This is a website for people that love books, okay? Now, everybody on Goodreads are not reading the kind of material I do, and some of my Goodreads friends read. They're not reading philosophy and the classics and, serious literature. They are not doing it. Some people are just up there reading real lightweight stuff, okay? Now, the majority of the people on my page are reading serious literature. Maybe I say 98% of them are, and then the others are reading just, you're just light read type stuff. But Anyway, this person, I got a friend request from this. It had the photo. He was an older white guy, and he looked all right. Look okay. Nothing special, and he and I looked and what I do, I check to see, do we have common interest in reading? When somebody send me a friend request, do we have common interest in reading? All of that, I look at that. Do they have good stuff? Do they have good stuff on their page, books that I can add to my page that I might potentially read in the future? But I noticed with him that he didn't have many books, and the stuff was real lightweight. And then, so I said, okay, maybe he just opened up account. So I checked when he had opened this account. So it was a new account. So I said, okay, I'm going to give him time. Maybe he will add something, add more books. Um, but then I decided, so I added him, and he messaged me. So I just thanked him for, sending me a friend request, and that's it. And I went on about my business. Then I turned around, he had messaged me again. I'm like, wait a minute. What do you want? You know? you know, and he wants to talk, blah, 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 find out about my background, this, that, and the other. And it's like, dude, I don't have time for all this stuff. I didn't tell him this, but I'm thinking it. I don't have time to get up here and talk. I hear some of these people that get locked into these romance scams. They just have all the time in the world in their hand, just throughout the day messaging. I was like, no, don't message me. I have stuff I have to do. I don't like to be distracted. I'm teaching. I have stuff that I'm working on, things I'm planning. I never get everything finished that I want to do. I have to help my mom. All this, something is always coming up that I have to do. I just don't have time for this. Maybe if you rolling in money and you got plenty of time on your hands, fine. But I don't. I have to work. So, and my students messaging me, all of that. I have stuff I have to do with them. So I don't have time for all of this. And I'm not looking because I understand my limitations. I am a 61-year-old African American woman, and basically, who wants me? Okay. Educated too. I'm like totally off the list. Okay. I'm off of everybody's list. Okay. I'm serious. I'm off of everybody's list. So I'm not, and I'm not going to cry about it. Why should I cry about it? This is reality. Okay. I don't believe in trying to mold me reality and shape it to how I want it to be, because when you do that, you're going to end up and lose somewhere down the road. So this is what people do. So, excuse me. But so I talked to him a little bit. He started talking about talking in the morning, and he says I started noticing all the red flags. He put up on his profile something that gave me an indication that he might have been widowed. He said he was from Colorado, but he was working as a foreman or something up in Canada, lumberjack, so in another country, all the red flags. Now, I had learned a lot of stuff from these romance scam YouTube channels. There are a lot of them out here. There are people that have been scammed, all this. There are people that run channels that are basically have a team. They are investigating scammers. There are people that actually are trying to tell their family members that are hard-headed, that look mom, look dad, look whoever, look brother, look sister. I think this is a scam. And they're just like, they're just hell-bent. I'm going to get me somebody. I'm going to find me some love. So I look at these channels and I learned a lot. And like I said, basically, I don't have time for this. Okay. And like I said, I don't fool myself about my capacity and appeal as a woman my age. Okay. So I don't fool myself, and I don't get trapped into this kind of stuff. A lot of people have a momentous ability to fool themselves, and when somebody starts love bombing them and telling them that they are beautiful, a lot of people, they just live on validation of other people. Social media is like a tool for the narcissist and the insecure, because they will use it to seek validation. They need that, it's a spiritual thing. But if you use the scientific language, that dopamine hit, they need all that. And me, I don't have to have it. I really don't have to have it. I can go about, I get compliments as a teacher, as a human being, but I'm not out there looking for it 24/7. Some people have to have it. They live for the thumbs up. They live for the comments. They live for this. Their life is nothing, they feel, unless they are being validated by other people. And that's a sad way to have to be, because people You cannot put your dependence on people. And me as a Christian person, I understand that your dependence had better be on God, because people will betray you, people can die, all of that. And then if you are you just worship this person, they betray you, or or they've been a decent person, they treated you well, and they die. What do you do after that? You have nothing. You feel like you have nothing. So you're lost. So I don't feel like I'm lost, and I don't fall for this. So the guy, I'm like, no, he's not going to tell me, this guy's not going to tell me when he wants to talk. No, this is going to stop. And then he told me, let's move over to Google Chat. I'd never heard of Google Chat before. That was another red flag. Up until that time, I had not heard about it, but it was a red flag. Why you want to move over here to somewhere else? So I just went ahead. I looked at, he was adding all these women, older women, women my age, middle-aged women, some younger women, very few men. I said, yeah, the scammers on here. And then I looked at the Goodreads forum. Somebody was talking about these creepy men are getting up here. This was a post by somebody like months before, getting up here and ruining Goodreads. They're getting up here because people on Goodreads, I would say probably most of them probably are not looking for romance. They got dating apps, okay? And I find it weird when people get on Instagram, get on Facebook, wanting to start up a conversation, and I'm like, get on a dating app, okay? Now the dating apps have their dangers, okay? And a lot of people don't seem to be aware of it, of course, because you always have people come in and they talk about their success story, but that's you. You might be lucky. Okay. You might be lucky, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be lucky. The next person's going to be lucky, because the thing is, you've got romance scammers up there, tricking people out of tens of thousands of dollars. Human traffickers are up there. You can be trafficked. Okay. There are women that have been human trafficked because of this kind of stuff. And there was a young woman I saw earlier this year. She was talking about the Christian dating apps. It's not even safe on the Christian dating apps. She was saying, I was looking for a serious relationship. I want to get married. And you had guys on the dating app that weren't even Christian. They would lie on their profiles that they were Christian. And then when you start talking to them, they want to talk about going out and dating, having sex. And it was just heartbreaking. Another woman, she was older. She got on it and she said, it's just like the pickings, even on the dating app, are slim. Just bad people are attracted to these apps. Predators are attracted to these apps. And yeah, if people good, if you found the love of your life, your husband, your wife, fine. You were one of the lucky ones, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to be lucky. So that I don't suggest that people get up and say, oh, you should get on a dating app and do this because this happened to me. No, we have to learn about what's best for us as human beings. A lot of people they act like cattle. They follow the herd. Okay. Somebody else is doing it, I'm going to do it. Okay. A lot of people act like sheep or cattle. They're just led, and they don't think about what is best for me. Should I be doing this? But they think, this worked good for them, I'm going to do it too. And it may not work well for you. Okay. This happened with a lot of African Americans that were talking about moving to Africa, particularly after what happened with George Floyd and the year of return. And then they went and they found out Africa was not for them. So you have to find out what your place is, where your place is in this life, what your purpose is. Somebody else's purpose might not be your purpose. My own siblings' purpose might not be my purpose in life. Okay. So we have to find out what our purpose is. So these people, you have to know your limitations. You have to be aware of what is happening in the world today. You cannot go through this life in a romantic fog, because you are a target to be scammed. You are a target to be a host of a parasite. And so you have to be aware of what's happening in this world. And this is not being mean or politically incorrect, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And so going back to this guy, he after I blocked him and I reported him to Goodreads because I smelled a rat to high heavens that he was a scammer. And this was not only for me, this was for other people on there that do not want to be bothered, okay, with this nonsense. So I blocked him, and then a few days he had the audacity to message me on Instagram, and I immediately blocked him. I didn't even say anything because it was like, this ends now. This ends here because I am not interested. I don't want to, I looked at his profile, he could have been real. I don't know. But all the red flags of the scammer was there. It could have been somebody in Lagos that stole this man's profile. And I find something very interesting that's been happening a lot on Instagram. Instagram has just become a cesspool, but it still has its great stuff. I like to look at book pages, traveling pages. I like Arab comedy. There are Arab comedians in English and in Arabic, and even the ones in Arabic are really funny. Even if you don't understand the language, to me, it's funny, very funny. So I like these comedy videos. There's one black guy, I follow him. It's funny. And I like book, and also some of my friends and students are on Instagram. I don't have a big page, but yeah, but it's for me, it's quality over quantity. For me, quality over quantity. The numbers are not important, it's the quality. So lately I've been having these guys with nothing but selfies um following me, and I don't follow them back because I'm like, dude, look at my page. I got books up here. I got serious stuff on my page. Okay, I'm not into the selfie culture, the me culture. I'm not into that. I have books up there. I have some family pictures. I have some of the photography of my aunt up there. She does photography for fun, nature photos. I may show. I think I'll do a video of some of her photography. She's great with nature photos. So yeah, I don't know. But we live in a very strange time where I can't, it's a generational thing, but it's not a generational thing because you have older people that have seen to forgotten. They don't know what their place is here. And they are not making themselves out as a good example for other people. Now, there are some people. There was one woman that was actually railroaded into this dating scam thing by her own daughter because her daughter was saying, "Mom, you're a widow. You need to get out." She was either widowed or divorced. You need to get out, and you need to get out more. You need to get on a dating app. And the woman was scammed out of thousands and thousands of dollars because of her daughter's advice. And people seem to act like they think it can't happen to me, but it can. It can. And like I said, I don't understand this need for validation. And it's very strange. Like some people have been commenting, it's very strange to them that people will start saying that people that they don't even, they've never seen, they've never been around, they've never really interacted with except for on the internet, and some of it only solely through typing, and would say that, this is my boyfriend and girlfriend. And you know nothing about this person. You don't know anything about their family, their background, nothing. So it's just really bizarre. But people can be easily, if you look at people today and people like from my grandparents' generation, things started going south with my parents' generation because they started getting more materialistic. But if you look at the people today compared to the people in my grandparents' generation, people now are the older generation just didn't seem narcissistic and just sort of lost and not knowing what to do with themselves the way the people are now. And we've got more stuff, more things than ever. And like one of my student that lives in Marden that I will be seeing today, hopefully if her asthma is better, she was saying that people today have more and they're more miserable than ever. And when it used to be that people had less, they were happier. And I think that might be the case. Even with me, I'm just a poor educator. But I'm a minimalist. And so I don't have to have all of this stuff. You might see my books and stuff when I like a lot of books, but books are about it. I'm not into the clothes, the jewelry, everything. I got some nice jewelry, a few pieces, but I'm not into that. It's not important. And it's also not important about people telling me, "Oh, oh, you're great, you're beautiful, you're this, that." That's not important to me. Okay. If it happens, fine. I'm skeptical if it, I'm no beauty. I mean, I have to admit it. One man would say they're devaluing beauty now by saying everybody's beauty. Yeah, they do that. They devalue diva. The word diva used to be an opera singer, not some woman that is into herself and controlling or whatever it means now. Same with gay. Gay when I was a child meant happy, not homosexual. okay, or whatever. So it's really weird how humans can be. So a lot of people have farmed out their minds. They want to farm out their mind. They farmed out their minds to other people. And now they want to farm out their minds to entities like machines and AI. It's weird. It's weird. I just don't feel like I'm a part of this century. I feel like I'm a part of maybe early 1900s, late 1800s or something. Who knows? 8th century. It might be 8th century for all I know. But I just don't see things the way people do it. Even in my generation, a lot of them. The fake is really in. And they talk about fake news, but fake, the illusory, the clown circus is here. And it's sad what people allow themselves to be subjected to. And a lot of it is from people that have been divorced, damaged, abused, others with low self-esteem. How we are raised as children has a lifetime impact. And some people can, if you've had bad parenting, some people can shake it off, but a lot of people can't. Okay. And but yeah, we have to understand, find out what our purpose is here and learn to stay in our lane. Okay. And it's a really complex topic. And all this stuff that's happening, you have to learn to protect yourself from the predators because they're out here. The scammers and predators are here on all sorts of levels now. All right, so I'm going to end here. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. So this is Sincere. Until next time.